Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of the Microgreen Thumbcast. Tonight, we're going to have a special guest that's going to be coming on. So, if you've seen the thumbnail, you know who it is. It is Matt Nino. But before we bring Matt on, as always, want to bring in the co-host of this Thumbcast, Andy. Andy, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good. How was your week?
It was good. Got a lot of stuff done at the shop. One of my employees volunteered to actually come and help paint, which was a huge plus because I
Like
hate
volunteered?
painting. So yeah, we got a lot done. Painted a lot of. Got the bathroom done and a lot of trim work, and it's just a nightmare. Still long ways to go. We're getting there slowly but
Okay.
surely. But
How
other
long
than
you
that,
got to go, do you think?
it's gonna depend on the county. Unfortunately, that's
Before you're
that's
ready.
been the yeah, that's been the giant thorn in my side that I cannot remove. It
Yeah.
seems so. Yeah, I was ready in November of
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
So I was telling I was chatting with Robert Meredith right before I got on here, and I said, I may be through my 1 year of my 5 year lease by the time I actually get moved in. At the rate it's going, but
That'd be horrible.
part of the process.
Oh, man. Awesome. All right. Without further ado, I want to go ahead and bring our guest in and give him plenty of time, and because he's got some unique things that he's doing in the microgreen world. So we want to discuss with him, learn some things ourselves, and see what he's got going on. So Matt Nino is our special guest today. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
Again, thank you for
Good.
being here tonight. We really appreciate it.
My
We always
pleasure.
like having guests on, so thank you for being here.
Oh, excited to be here, you guys. You guys are doing great work. I'm sure everybody's aware.
Thank you.
Keep this
Appreciate that.
good stuff
Thanks, man.
going. Mm-hmm.
Well, Matt, can you share your journey into the microgreen world? What made you start with it? What was your inception of Nino Microgreen or Nino Greens, I guess? What got you started?
So I went to YouTube actually when I was at a job, corporate world. I was there for about 2 years. Yeah, I was really into it there, and I was looking at videos and I saw microgreens, and I have a green thumb. At least I thought I did, and I started to get interested. And I was like, wow, 10 days? Well, I got 10 days. Let me see if I'm going to get at this. And then I grew my first, 10 by 20. I was like, wow, this is some cool stuff. And I just loved watching the colors and all this chemistry come together. Really interesting to me. And then I was like, why don't you just actually find somebody who wants to try this stuff? I don't know if this is good or if they want to buy it. And then I found 2 people and they bought the tray. And I was like, well, I need to find 4 people. And then I found 4 people. And then I was like, I probably had $1,002 to my name, and I bought my first rack, and I think it was like $996. So I was like, all right, here we go. Kind of into this now. So I put everything I had into it and sold my first rack. And then I was like, well, I guess I need another one. And my great friend Dalton, came out of nowhere and was like, here's $1,000, and I give you his word. He was like, I believe in you. Gotta believe. And I took that $1,000 and ran with it and got another one, and it worked out. I was still doing my normal job, and then I just told everybody I was quitting. And they're like, why are you leaving a really nice job to do this? I'm like, because I think this is my calling. I think this is what I'm supposed to do. I love it. I wake up energized. I'm not like, oh my God, I have to go to X to get a paycheck. I actually love working for myself, and there's no better gratification than knowing you built something and then it works. Because before it works, it doesn't, and then you just start getting paid for it, and you're just super excited. And I started doing that, and it just took off from there. And it was in 2019, so I picked the perfect time to get into it, as these guys are aware. It was right during COVID. And nobody wanted me to come to their door. So I had to start getting good at marketing, or getting better at marketing, because I didn't know anything about it. And I actually was going to hire a company to do it. And I think they wanted to charge me like $4,500 at the time. And as I just said, I didn't have much money to, keep myself going. Taco Bell was like the biggest thing I could get for myself at the time. I was like, whoa, we're going out today. And then, I just started going, saving a little more, and jumped into it full full feet, and it's just been great since then. Very blessed. I'm very lucky because there's a lot of great companies out there that try and try and try, and just for whatever numerous thousands of reasons, some businesses fail, and I've just been very fortunate. So
Well, you got the right drive. You know, that's what really
Yeah.
takes it to this point. You got to have the drive and work through all the challenges. Which
yeah,
what
yeah.
challenges did you have coming up when you first started?
Oh, capital. That was the first one, and that's quite a challenge. Then it was logistics. You know, I had to learn about, okay, I need to get these seeds at these time. I ended up becoming like people's personal growers at the time. So some people wanted cabbage, some people wanted broccoli,
Mm.
some people wanted salad mix. And then it grew from there. And then they found out I could grow more, and then that would change. So each person gets a different, my subscription, you can order 4 things from me per month. And as long as I can keep it in the restrictions of about a month and a week, then you can order those from me. Otherwise, it extends too far. No one wants to wait, 21 days for cilantro. They're just going to go to their neighbor's garden, take a hack,
Yeah.
and say thank you. That's what my neighbors do. They come over. I got this giant book of cilantro. They're like, thank you. All right, thank you. Take off. And I just wanted to get better at it, and I quickly did because I started learning. Well, I got into Excel and then wasn't good at that. My wife is a speed demon at that. She looks at that stuff and is like, "And I'm done." I was like, "I was sitting in there for an hour. How did you?" It's just like, I don't. It's done, and I get and I'm. She helps me, and I get to go on to my next task. And I found out getting seeds to my location was hard because sometimes, for whatever reason, they wouldn't drop them off.
Hmm.
So I had to actually call the post office and say, why are my seeds being delayed? And then I guess there was a mix up. They didn't know where the seeds were coming from, so they couldn't confirm them. So because they were coming from Canada at the time. So once I got that past that, then everything started to flow. Because that was scary. I was like, wait,
Yeah.
well, hold on. I just quit my job. Kind of need this to work.
Can't
And
live without seeds.
yeah, I'm like, it's
Yeah.
kind of the starting block of how this all works. So they worked with me, and I got that going. I'd say first, second, third year was just getting the momentum I needed because it's just me, and I learned that my motivation would work some of the time, but my discipline needed to be there every day. So I always, discipline first, motivation comes second. And then once I learned that, that was kind of the key. But I'll tell you what, I did not have that drive before, and something switched. I guess I just wanted it more,
Yeah.
and that's what kept me going every day. Because there's as you guys know, there's good weeks and bad weeks in business. Not everything's sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
And
Well, you
then
put
you
yourself in a position. You put yourself in
yeah
a position where you had no backup plan. I mean, once you leave your
yes
job,
yes
you
and
got to make it fly. So sometimes that could be all the motivation you need.
yeah yeah, and I just never been like a plan B type guy. I believe in what I'm doing, and sometimes manifestation and belief and hard work sometimes equals luck, and you get it all together, and some things come together, and you may make a profit from it. I had one of my best sushi restaurants. They didn't order for me for like 2 weeks. I was like, "What's going on?" And I literally called, and the guy picked up in Spanish. I'm like, "Okay, well, there goes one of my bigger clients." So then I had to figure out what happened to him. Why did they shut down so quickly, and where did it go from there? And turned out there was just a different owner, and they were switching around the restaurant.
Hmm.
So it wasn't so, but I didn't hear. So it's made me start watching my numbers, because every day I think as a business you should get up and look at your numbers, because they have the horizon in front of you and also the downfall too. So, and if you don't watch that, you're pitted for doom. You don't want to walk that line. That was one of my biggest problems and struggles, to be honest. I mean, I'm a pretty straightforward guy. That was a big thing at farmers markets. I couldn't get into them at first because I found out I needed all these certifications. And I was like, what do you mean? I didn't know all these people had all this stuff. And They have to pay all that to come over here? Wow. Man, I do want to shake from these guys. These guys are working hard. It made me start to empathize for the farmers. And then what I tell everybody now, that one of my pitches is, do you know your farmer? And a lot of people don't. I was like, well, let me be that guy. You can come to my house and see it growing. I'll take a picture for it every day if you want. And some people are really into that. They want to see it. And then, they get tired of your texts and they're like, okay, I get it. I know how cabbage grows now. You can go back to work now. I'm like, oh, well, I love it. Don't you love it? No? All right. Here's the invoice. I'm sorry.
Yeah. These 600 little cabbages are just for you.
Yeah, look at these things. Look at the color changes. Isn't that amazing? I don't. It's just seeds. Okay. Well, all right. I tried.
Not everybody nerds out like we do. Like
I know, man.
Yeah.
My dad calls me farm nerd. That's what my dad says. Hey, what are you doing, farm nerd? I'm like, well, I'm just standing over my 10 by 20s right now doing some seeding. What are you doing? Like,
seeds.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I started in a garage, and then I learned that the garage does not hold humidity very well, and everything started to go down on me. So I grow inside grow tents, and that keeps my humidity and everything at bay, because California, it goes up and down, because it's 30 miles to the ocean, but I live in a valley, and it changes right here. Like, it's 48 degrees out here right now. I know it's not much for you guys on the East Coast, but I'm in California, okay? It's got to be sunny, or I'm going to complain about it, okay?
That's one thing I was going to ask you too, because your technique of growing is a little bit different than what everybody else is doing. You grow tents, everything else, different environment, everything else. Can you expand more on how you're growing?
So I do the traditional 10 by 20 tray, which is obviously amazing and works. And I also do flood trays. So it's on the same type of rack. They're big, long flood trays. They go the entire length of the track. I just pump it up to the top, and it's gravity fed. And it just feeds down. And I make sure that it only does, about a half an inch, quarter of an inch, I believe, to hit the roots. And then I have it in the centers there, so it'll shut off if it goes any higher. So I run that for 2 minutes once a day, and sometimes some plants don't need it, so I can shut it off from my phone. As Andy knows, we like to program stuff and make it a little bit more automated if we can. And I'll tell you, I'll be driving to go to do deliveries, and I'll be like, oh my God, did I water that? And I can look at my phone and see the camera, and I'm like, okay, no, it doesn't mean water. Okay. Because they're baby plants, you got to worry about them.
Yeah, they're babies.
Yep.
So, I do it that way because it helped me, because I'm just by myself. So I needed some sort of automation to run. I need systems are what run your business. You don't, that is the best part about it, is your systems in your business. So once I got that dialed down, it made everything so much smoother. And that should go out to my good friend Dalton, because he was seeing me do the 10 by 20 trees every day. And he's like, man, he has a great grain dump too. But he's like, I love doing this, man, but lifting those trays up every day, there's got to be a better way. And I was like, I don't think there is. Pretty sure everybody knows what they're doing. And leave it to him. And then he showed me that, and I come over, and it's just beautiful. Okay, maybe you're onto something. And I started, and it was cheaper at the time back then. It wasn't, and the 10 by 20 trays were more. So and again, capital is a big thing for me. So I was like, well, let's try this. And it worked. And,
Nice.
And I used Coco Core, because I tried Pro Mix, and I wasn't as diligent as I should have been about the watering, and I paid for it. And I learned, okay, I need something that has a little bit more of a leeway, that's going to help me soak up some of the water, and if I can't get to it. And that really, really helped. And it comes in square blocks, so I can stack those, And I just don't have the room. I had to do, as I said, tenting, and when you put it in an area like brick and mortar, that's what I'm aspiring to be, by the way. Congratulations on your second place, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I was like, well, how can I make it smaller and kind of like a brick and mortar, but without having to pay somebody? I don't have the money for it. So I was like, well, they grow these really cool tropical plants in them. That's what I need. And then I got a dehumidifier and put it in there, and it just, everything's great. So I was very happy with that solution because I didn't have one. And I was paying for it. And that's what it's about in business. You learn along the way, or you know, it's about endurance for me. I just got to push past it. Just keep going, keep going. Perseverance. That's the only thing. I literally have it on my wall. Perseverance, Matt. Two words. 2 words. And I'm just, sometimes I'll see it and I'm like, I can't believe I wrote that.
Yeah, I agree with you on systems. Yeah, systems running your business is big. I mean, we wrote what is now FarmFlow. Wasn't at the time. It was just what we called admin panel because it was just for us to use. And I built that before we even started, knowing that was going to be key in the long run. Because I was always thinking way out ahead, and I thought, okay, when we start, we don't need it, but 6 months from now, we definitely will, and I'm not going to have as much time then as I do now. To build it. So literally about 4 years ago right now, I was throwing that together to get ready to start in May of 2020. So, it worked out great, but that's been huge for us in the long run. So yeah, having that organization is big. Yes.
Yes. And when I started, I was like, oh, I'll plant cabbage, I'll plant sunflower, and I'll plant this, and I'll plant that, and that'll be a great idea. And then I have no idea where these trays are. So I literally started putting different colored tape on them. I was like, this color means this color means this. One of my friends, she's a preschool teacher, she's like, do you know that's how we organize stuff at our mall? I'm all, hey, it works. Okay. It works. And I need this right now. Okay, this system works.
The system's built for elementary school kids, right?
Yeah, I was like, it works for me, man. I need all the help I can get. Yeah.
Hey, they tell you how you teach people. You teach them they talk to them like they're 5th graders. So
yep.
It works.
Yep. It does.
That's funny. Andy, you got anything follow up on that?
No, I mean, I totally agree. I love the approach. We toyed around with flood and drain a little bit at one point. And like, I don't know why. I just never wanted to do the gravity fed thing for some reason. I wanted all my trays to get filled at the same time. And I just could not. I mean, it was a disaster. So yeah, but I mean, now it's like, and Mike's in the same boat. I mean, for us to switch to that, it would probably be $30,000 to $40,000 in trays and parts and hoses and valves and so it's easier to start with it and then just get used to that as you grow, and then it's a lot less expense. It's still an expensive route to go. Just overall, because I mean, the flood trays alone are about $80 to $100 a piece usually, unless you can find them used. So that's definitely an expensive option, but it can be time saving. It can allow people to take vacation and all that kind of stuff too. So it's definitely not a bad idea. We just I never found a system that I liked enough to where I was like, all right, this is it.
And
so we just kind of bypassed the whole thing.
Trust.
Yeah, I mean, it was just that,
system, right? You're like, I know what works. I don't know if I trust this because
and my worry was like, you've got amaranth who barely wants any water. You've got cilantro who barely wants it, and then you've got peas who love water. Sunflower loves water, and it's like, if you're flooding the same tray with all those guys in it, is that going to cause problems with one side versus the other, and the leaks out of the hoses? And it was just, I was like, no,
you're like, no, you're like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. So we backed out of it entirely, but we did start with coir. I mean, we used to use Coco Coir, and then we switched to the Coco Loco in the long run. So I love that.
Coco Loco,
awesome. Yeah, check it out for sure. Fox Farms Coco Loco. It's soil and Coco Coir, so it's got all the nutrients. You don't have to give them any additional nutrients, and you get that moisture retention. So definitely try that one out if you can find it in your area, which you should. I think they're in California.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
Probably drive down the street passing it every day. I wonder if I should go in there.
Yes, you should.
Yes, you definitely should.
I will.
Yeah, Fox Farms Coco Loco. It's good stuff.
Okay.
And they're not sponsoring in any way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. Everybody always tells me I should
give them a lot of money.
Those guys. I'm like, yeah, I know. I mean, I know I've sold probably tens of thousands of bags.
I just went through 23 bags yesterday. So
yeah, that's insane.
Every week. So
wow.
Yep.
24. Sorry, I was corrected by the producer. 24.
Yeah. Either way,
yeah,
it's a lot. So yeah, if you're out there listening, Fox Farms, sponsor our podcast.
This is our time.
We can put you right up over here.
These two
somewhere.
guys.
Yeah.
These two guys right here.
We could put you right in the center, right where Matt is.
Okay, right there. Yes. Um, all right, Matt, I wanted to talk a little bit about you got some unique places that you sell to and
Oh yeah.
done some unique things that is totally, I would think, far out of the box that most people won't even think about. So can you talk a
Yeah.
little bit about how you're going about selling in your unique ways?
And before
Uh,
you start, I'm going to tell people, get a pen and paper out for real.
Or
I
rewind.
mean, you're about to be schooled on something that you would never even thought about. So
oh, you
this
guys
is
are
why we
so
brought
nice,
Matt on.
man.
He has a very
I'm,
unique approach.
I'm super. Thank you. That's super humbling, you guys. So what I do is different, as I've said. So I go to schools, but I work with teachers, and the teachers are the best, in my opinion, best buyers you can get because they're at one location at one point, and they know the culture change and they know it's coming, and they're on the forefront of it,
Yeah.
and they often speak to the students and their uh, parents. So you have an opportunity there to not only uh, gain a client, but also through the greatness of that teacher, hopefully, who's a good teacher, will spread that to the awareness of the kids who would tell their parents, and maybe they'll, and that's really how it's come to be, is word of mouth for me. So went to one school and got from teachers, and I was telling these guys, teachers like, oh, I really like them. Why don't you come talk to me and make a little a class and talk to us? I'm like, great. I gotta go in front of people and they're gonna all stare at me. I gotta talk about microgreens. I think one of you has even heard of this before. I'm like, okay. And I show up there. There's nervous. There's probably not more than I am now talking with these big heads of the game. I showed up and they all looking at me, and it's just that quiet sound. I'm like, oh, this is the part where I talk, and I just started talking about microgreens and why I wanted to do it, and then my incentive. So incentivizing your customers or who you want to work with is big, and it can be you can go the extra amount, or you can just go something that fits for them. So what fits with schools is scholarships. And the way I got that is every sale that we get, a percentage of it will go to the school, and they'll get a scholarship, and that can go to the student of their choice to help them further their education, whichever they choose. And I think there's a lot of kids out there that just need a little help. I certainly was one of those kids who could have used a little, kick in the butt or extra bucks to help me get along my way. And I would like to be the change. You hear about people doing it, but I would like to actually know there's something I did may encourage the next kid to start. Maybe the biggest microgreens business we've ever seen. Who knows? And just school me and us one day about how to do it. I'd love to see that. I think it's negative to try and stop other businesses, even if they're in your same business, with bad connotation towards their work, because we're all in this together. There's plenty enough customers for us all. So when you talk to one teacher, they talk to another teacher, and then those teachers talk to other schools. So I started at a 7th to 9th grade school, and then I got to a high school, and then we went to an elementary, and then I ran into the district supervisor, and that changed the game for me. And that took some time. Like I had to go, I had to go in there twice. One day I literally picked the worst time, by the way. I picked a fire alarm. I picked a fire alarm day, and the supervisor was coming out, and the last thing this guy wants to hear about is freaking microgreens. So I just waited. I just waited in the office, and I made a joke for him. I was like, man, I was sitting here waiting for the district officer. It feels like I'm back at school again, waiting for a teacher to come in here and talk to me. And we right off the bat, we were joking, and I said, "Listen, I'll be short with it. I'm a humble microgreens grower. I'm local. As you know, the teachers have buy from me." I said, "Are you open to the idea of having vending machines with healthy options in it, like all the different types of waters and microgreens and whatever you school chooses to fit?" And they were liking the idea, they thought, but they didn't know how kids would be into it. And I said, I'll put a $25 Amazon card on the bottom of one of these cans or waters, and whoever gets it that much, it's not going to be the same person every time, and they get it. And then from those sales, again, we'll make a scholarship. So everyone wins here. I gain customers, I gain your trust. They learn about microgreens. And if you guys want, I'll come and show these kids how to grow it. It's not hard. They could take over. They could literally grow enough food to support a neighborhood if they just knew what they were doing. And that's where I was like, imagine if 6 kids in 6 different neighborhoods knew how to grow more food than everybody in the room. And I was like, and there's only 3% of us. 3% of us are farmers in this nation. I was like, that's gotta increase. I was like, we can all disagree on a lot of things, but what we don't disagree on is food. There's got to be more food, and there's not enough people growing it. And so you start connecting on these little dots, and it helps draw the bigger picture for people. And it's hard to do that sometimes with microgreens because it is a niche, and people are aware of it. And once you bring them up to date with what you're trying to do and how you're trying to sell it, and it sounds bad you're trying to sell it, but you're offering a solution to, because these kids don't have any solution to look at gardening anymore. It's an ag class.
Yeah.
And I was like one of the kids who took ag. Everyone else took chemistry, and because you were given the choice. And it's not that it's bad. Again, it's just what I took. And I didn't even start growing until 18 years later. So even if I took it, but I'm hoping one of those kids is like, man, this could be it. Why can't we do this? Because you can grow and make money from this and have a nice living if you go after it. And I started going to a hard route of getting vending machines, and that took some learning curves because there's vending machines that you can rent, there's vending machines you can loan or buy, but schools often have them, so you can just fill them. And if they're willing to give up the Gatorade section because they find out that Gatorade has a lot of sugar in it and stuff, a lot of people aren't aware of like the stuff that's in their everyday stuff. I love Oreos. I just found out they're not even allowed in the United States. Like, in the EU, they're banned. I'm like, what? But they're so. And then I started asking myself, but why are they banned? I'm like, and then I'm just staring at this beautiful box of Oreos that I can't eat anymore because the entire country has said this is bad. So, like, okay, all right, well, I'll go back to eating broccoli, I guess.
Yeah, that can get a big rabbit hole if you start searching a lot of things that are banned other places and finding out why. But
yeah,
it
Skittles.
definitely leads you.
Skittles.
That's a rabbit hole you can go down.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh. But anyways, I stuck to the teachers and I ran into district supervisor. That worked out. And then my friend has worked at Sony building a while back, and I got in there, talked to them, and they had a food court, and that opened up my world that big businesses inside there have food courts. And if you can get in and make a viable solution for people, something that's quick, because these guys are on the go and they got a lot of meetings to get to, and they have a pretty quick pace. I'm sure Andy could speak to that. When you got a lot of stuff going on in projects and things, you don't really got time to go, well, what do I want to eat today?
Yeah.
What's on the, like, what is that? Give it to me. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So that worked, and it just kind of grew, and then it became sustainable. And then once I noticed, again, the numbers were starting to come in, I was like, wow, this is working. Okay. All right. So, and then I paused myself because I'm always worried about when you hit that, you plateau, it starts working. It's that vulnerability right there where you kind of got to go back up again. You got to look for the next thing. And I was like, well, my mom's a naturopathic doctor. I should start talking to naturopathic doctors because they speak my language. Most of them want to, and I'm in San Diego, so there's quite a few health related functions out here as well that you can go to and meet people in that world. And a lot of them are naturopathic doctors, and they want to talk to you, and they'll take your products, and then if they're kind enough to let you in there, you're going to need a mini fridge. Let me tell you, people, a mini fridge. You're going to need like 6 of them because some of them will just stop working on days where you really need them to work. And that's not cool. And you got to drive 30 miles to replace a mini fridge that you don't even want in the first place. So I got in there, and then I started going, well, everyone's going to restaurants. And I have plenty of things to work on, and posting's one of them. But restaurants, I couldn't get into many. And then I started going to sushi restaurants. And I started looking at what they decorate everything. It's amaranth, it's broccoli, it's purple cabbage, it's sometimes agnostic yellow mustard. It's kind of fine dining on top of the plate. And I was like, well, I grow this. So I brought in sample after sample after sample until I literally ran in to the owner, who kept getting these microgreens boxes and just, where are these coming from? Like, I come in and he's like yelling at the lady because they're in the. I would put them in the freezer area and say, oh, well, he'll see them, and he'd call him, and then he called me. He said, he's like, I was mad, but then I tried them. Do you have time to meet? I was like, oh yes, I do have time to meet. He's like, when? I'm, well, right now. He's like, good. That's all the time I have. I was like, okay. So I drove right over there, and thank God it was not even like 2 miles down the street. And I got in there, and we had a great relationship since. And
Nice.
he's also very fluent in business, so he's helped me along the way. So again, you open up guys who are in the business, and then you learn from them. As long as you're open to it, that's you start learning little tricks of the trade that you didn't even know were there, or you may see them in front of you every day, but you're not aware of them.
Yeah.
And it's those little tricks that help you exponential growth, instead of linear, because we don't. Linear is death.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Linear will drop at some point, and you will just die.
What does Gary Vaynerchuk say? Innovate or die.
Yep.
Yeah. So I often have to tell myself that, because I'm like, we're not doing anything today, Matt. Like, come on, we got to innovate. We got to do something. We're sitting here at the computer. We can work on marketing. And Google marketing, man, that has worked insanely well for me. And YouTube and Instagram, just little 30-second stories and geographs from my little area. When I started that, I didn't think it was going to work, but my goodness, I started from maybe 2,000 views, and then I got 21,000 views. It's like, I was like, could like 2 of you maybe buy some things? 2% of you start buying some stuff. I want followers, but that doesn't transfer to funds. I need funds, or I can't take these cool pictures that everybody else is doing. They got nice cameras and stuff. I'm over here talking with earbuds. These guys, they got nice stuff. Podcast experts. Yeah, look at.
Only because of this.
I'll tell you what, though,
No
like
other reason.
you said, Matt, followers doesn't mean money. Like, I know
No,
people who have millions of followers on like TikTok and other things,
Yeah.
and make almost $0 because they do not know how to monetize their business that they're trying to do. So followers doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get anything. So you got to go out and still sell and get in front of them.
Yes, and I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not good at posting stuff. I'm just, as my friends always tell me, you're always doing cool stuff. Take a picture. I'm like, is it though? And then people love it. I'm like, okay, I gotta get better at this. I gotta get posting stuff. Then I'm at the end of my day going, what was I supposed to post? And that getting to the district, going back to the school stuff, when you get in front of someone of that measure, you better be ready, because they're going to ask you some hardcore questions, and you can't just dilly-dally. Direct answers is what you want, because they're district supervisors. Whatever you're doing today is not going to help. They're not going to think about it today. They got stuff on their plate already. Tomorrow is where they're going to have time to marinate on your discussion. So hopefully it sits long enough for them to make a decision. And sometimes you're going to have to call them back or bug them again. I had a juice place that I went in there and learned that not every place you go to that you can work with deserves your business. Because you can go in a place that, like a juice place, and then how they treat their customers is a reflection of how they're going to treat you and the business that you're going to off. You're affiliated with them now. So, if the customer has a bad day and Nino Greens is on the bottom of the menu, it doesn't even matter if they had a bad day. They may look up and say bad day and go Nino Greens, and then they had a bad day and you're with that name. I don't want that. Yeah. So I learned very, very quick that not every place is if they can sell it, doesn't mean they should. There's one place you can find it there.
Yeah.
So it's you have to be selective, but also when I started, I would have picked if someone had a barn and a fridge and they wanted, I would have just been like, here, can I sell it out of this? Please, I'll
Please give me money.
Please, yes. So I have the option now. But again, there's many times where I can't be selective. You know, you gotta pick your battles.
Yeah.
There's days where I want to not. There's days where I don't want to market. You know, I don't want to go do that stuff. But and then I remember, well, are you okay with where you're at? Is this all you want? Because it's all you want, it's all you're gonna get. Nothing changes if nothing changes, right?
Exactly.
So, and I think foodie groups. I don't know if you guys do that. Foodie groups, local foodie groups.
Yeah.
God, those guys come and they'll buy from me, and then they start learning about all the other stuff they can put it in. That's really worked for me, and I didn't even think about that. I was like, wow, who's gonna want? Why would they want microgreens? And then they take these amazing pictures and send them back to me. I was like, I need to get these people on it. They're gonna help me with my posts. So I'll just, it's like there are people who have chefs. They'll have a main course of private property, and I'll say, "Can you take these? If you have time and can bless me with a picture, I would love it. And if you can't, you can't, because I've given it to 4 or 5 chefs, and they just didn't have the time. But that builds your relationship with them. So when they do a wedding function, and now it's 40 plates, now you're getting into the game. So again, pick and choose your battles. And chefs are difficult to talk to sometimes. Sometimes they're super nice because you're meeting them before the rush, and then you meet them after the work, and they're thinking about rushing home. So you got to go in there at the perfect time, and again, have your stuff together.
Yep.
It saves you headaches, and they're going to have a ton of questions that you should be able to answer on the dime, with no hesitation, because you've been doing this long enough. And if you haven't and you're a novice, be honest with them. Tell them you're starting and you want to work this out and you want to try and get in here. Please, can I just get a foot in the door? Honesty goes a long way with these owners, because at some point they started just like you.
Yeah, we all start somewhere.
And remind them of that. I often say that. I know you started somewhere. I'm there now. So can you be that person I can work with to help me get to where you are now? Put them on a pedestal, because it feels good when people recognize what you've worked for. I built a table inside my house, and my friends will show up and they're just sitting down there. I'm like, look at that table holding that beer right there. That's right. Me and my dad built that back in 2021 on a cold December night. So,
with nothing but hand tools.
Yeah, there's no nails in that. Yeah.
Every nail had to be driven in uphill.
Yeah. And if you guys can, vending machines, get into it.
Yeah,
that is so unique.
Get into it.
Very interesting.
Because you can just, because they're refrigerated, right? Some of them are cold, or you can put it inside of business, and then you tell them, just ask them a simple question: how much are you getting for the Dorito spots? What's your return on that? Do you get 10%, 15%? I'm willing to give you 30%. Just give me this area. I tell you, I'll sell out. And I always tell them, give me 3 months. 3 months. I'm asking for probational period, 3 months. And I always say that, probational period. Just let me in. If at any time you don't feel it works, I'm out of there. It won't take me any time. I just get a cart. I pop this thing up and I'm out. And they're willing to see if they can offer another product to their customers. So it works out. And
awesome.
You pay them up front to electricity. Talk money with them. Like, here, I'm willing to pay you electricity right now for the year. Even if you're only doing a probational period, that incentivizes them that you're going to be there for the long run. I want to have more growth with you than just these 3 months. Just start putting those. I tell my wife, just start throwing those little seeds in there. I just need a little seed. Just hit somewhere and plant, and then it grows, and I can work from that. So I just love the challenge of trying to find new places too, because it's once you get in there, like, yes, I did it. I don't know how, but I did it. I didn't think I could, but I did it. I could go in there. I'll tell you guys. Be honest with you. My hands are super sweaty when I go in there, and I'm like rubbing my knees in my car before I go in. And I get in there, and I'm in front of somebody, and it's. I just remember that this is why I got into it. I'd rather be doing this than what I was doing, and I don't want to go back to what I was doing. So this is it. Better get good at it now, Matty.
Better get good at talking to people.
Yeah.
Yep. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody that's on the Thumbcast right now to go ahead and put hashtag Thumbcast in if you want to win. And make sure you're going to be here at the end as well, because you have to be present now to win. So hashtag Thumbcast and stay to the very end. But go ahead, Andy. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, I just want to reiterate, this is why we had Matt come on. I've talked with Matt in the past a couple times on the phone here and there, and it's his approach is so unique, and I think it's something that no one other than you that I know of is doing this, going to schools, talking to teachers, getting
It's
in vending
doable.
machines. I
It's
didn't even know
doable.
that until tonight.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
do it.
really just a great approach and something I don't think a lot of people would have thought about. And that's
Well,
part of
thank you.
this is just thinking outside of the box. Everybody just
Yeah.
goes farmers markets, restaurants, grocery stores, home subscriptions, maybe distributors. That's it. And
Yeah.
they're not thinking about the cafes, the golf courses, the hotels,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Sonys of the world,
Oh,
and going into whole different avenues that are just an open door that's waiting to be walked through, but we don't
yeah.
think about it, and
Uh,
that's what makes it tough. So yeah,
one
I
I'm on right.
love it, dude. Everything about it. It's really
Oh,
cool.
thank you, man. I
It was
appreciate
a
it.
great idea.
One I'm on right now is retirement homes.
Wow.
Retirement homes. Those
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
need the nutrition more than anybody. I I would have loved to give my grandparents this stuff now. I would have. I would have loved to offer it to them. And if I can drop in a solution to make people's health a little better, in the golden years when you're there, man, please. Let's
Yeah.
let's let's make it, and it's affordable. Those guys are playing
Yeah.
out the arm and a leg, and the distribution that they have to pay sometimes is 25-30%, and it doesn't leave them any room for profit. I'm like, I'm down the street, like, and I always say, if I give you the stuff today and you don't like it, you call me. I have the stuff already there. I'll switch it that day, no questions asked, because you have a contract with me. That's how it works. So
Yeah.
they love that they can call somebody and actually talk to you. I'm sure you guys have customers that they talk to you and like, oh, thank you. It's so nice to get you instead of an automated phone call.
Yes.
Press 1 to figure out nothing. Press 2 to be stuck here.
Pretty much. Yeah, but when I hand somebody a business card, I make sure I point out, this is my personal cell phone number. If
Hmm.
you have any questions, this is the number you call, not the other
Hmm.
number. That's just going to
Yeah,
get you to the business. But
yeah,
call me directly, text me directly. Yeah, I mean, it's your best approach for sure,
yeah,
without a doubt. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I love the story. I love hearing it a second time and even more detail.
yeah.
It's really a unique approach. And that's what I
I
really love about it. I'm glad it's being successful for you for sure. That's awesome.
I've been blessed, man. I'll tell you, when I started, I'll be honest. I wanted a business to work, but I didn't know it would require all of this. And once you get into something, you better be all about it, because you'll quickly learn if you aren't. Then you'll
Yeah.
have to go back.
And passion goes a long ways,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
really long ways. If you're not
Yeah,
passionate about what you're doing, then it's going to be
yeah,
very tough for
yeah.
you to stay motivated and dedicated to what you're doing, but also to get your customers excited about what you have.
Yes,
And I
yes.
think that can separate the men from the boys right there. Even if you're not good with sales, but you
Mm-hmm.
have passion, that
Yeah,
can be huge in
yeah.
helping you get that sale, even if you're inexperienced with selling.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely.
Sorry about
Poor
the
Mike's
sun
got the
shining
sun
on my
coming up.
face, guys.
Good.
Coming right through the change of times, the change of the years, and
I feel like we're at the start of a movie.
yes,
Yeah,
this is my
there we
producer
go.
right now. Producer
Good
of
job,
hard
Jess.
work.
I know at first
She
I was like,
covered up
"Oh,
the
his
door.
beard's on fire."
She covered up the door, but there's a strip of window right above the door on the
Oh,
entry, and that's exactly where the sun was coming through,
oh
right on the
no.
computers.
Mm.
But yeah, I love the idea of the vending machines and the schools and vending machines there. Do you just sell the microgreens by themselves, or you put like a dressing with them or anything, or how do you do that?
So I can't. I would have to have a food kitchen permit to do that.
Yeah.
So I don't do
Yeah.
that. I just my package. And another thing about my packages, my bag, the container, the label, all of it is biodegradable. So if I tell the teachers, your kids don't like it, and they throw it in the back 48, in 200 and something days, it'll be gone. Who else is doing that? You guys got to do that.
Yeah.
You
When you're lucky enough to at least live in a state that can do commercial composting.
Yeah.
That's the
Yes.
biggest problem that we have where we are, and I know you're in the same boat, Mike, is that
Yeah.
there's tons of great compostable packaging we could be using, but we don't have the facilities So, a lot of people just assume, oh, I can throw this in my garden. It's going to compost on its own. No, not at all. It has to be professionally
No,
done.
not
And
at all.
there's
Yeah.
no facilities here that do
Mhm.
that. So you're
No.
lucky in California that you guys have access to that kind of equipment and services. So definitely a nice plus.
That is a plus. Yes.
I just seen Joe's comment. Sorry.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Sorry, but yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and I agree, Andy. Like if we had a compostable area facility that would do it near us, we definitely 100% would do it. Even if we had to get the packages back from the customers, if they couldn't get to it, we would get to it, kind of thing. But it's just not reasonable here. So do the once used, the whatever the PEP, whatever that's called, like post consumer rule, products, that's the best we can do.
Dude, great producer.
Yes, great producer.
She's like coming in there. It's perfect, man. Gotta get my wife in here. Oh.
Last episode, we had that guy's wife in it. She was in it.
I saw that. It was good. It was good to meet her.
That took
but good to see her.
A lot of convincing.
How much was that dinner, Andy?
Yeah, how much was that dinner?
It was over $100. And it was a lunch the following day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I mean, she's in the same boat like you were, Matt. When you walked into that school, thinking you were going to be talking to a couple people, and you ended up talking to a whole auditorium full of people. She has no problem being in front of people publicly speaking, but being on a live feed, for the first time ever. Was definitely a little bit overwhelming. She's not. I'm super extroverted. She's super introverted. So it's like easy for me to get on here and do this. I have no shame. So it's easy. For her, she's always like, oh man, but yeah, it was good. It worked out good. Once we got rolling, same thing, man. Once you got in front of those people, the passion comes out and makes it easy at that point. So she did good. She definitely earned her, I don't remember what she got, some kind of sausage gravy thing the next day. One of our restaurants that support us. So it worked out good. We were able to go support a restaurant that supports our farm.
Hey, Matt, I know you probably talked about it a little bit in bits and pieces as we went along here, but what is the future for your business? What do you see, where you see your outlets going? What do you see about your future of your business?
It's quickly changing, man. So I have the microgreens going. That's been working very well. My dream is to become like the vending machine of microgreens. Like I would love to just be that. Like when you see those water tanks and you can fill up your water. I would like to be that for at least just California to LA. That's all I can probably get to because I live like 60 miles south of LA. Okay. So that's about as far as I can go. And I do have people in the family that could distribute it for me, so that might be a viable option. However, I do live on a farm, so I have been getting into selling my eggs here. So in combination with those, it's been going up, and that can go in the vending machine. Not at schools, because they know kids going to be buying them.
Cracking eggs.
I don't need to just see kids buy like packs and packs and start a food fight. We want these things out of here.
right on their heads. That's where we
go. I told you, me and my friends were buying all of them.
I mean, sell a bunch.
Sell a bunch. Yeah, we cleared out everything.
At least for like a week, you'd make a huge amount of money.
Yeah. But I would like to. I guess my ultimate goal is to make a change. I would love to hire the next wave of kids to work for Nino Greens and start off their own franchises. I have one now that I'm still building. Franchises take a while, and I wasn't ready for that. And then there's a lot of forms and taxes and litigation and bureaucracy between it. But again, I want the challenge. So, this is it. But I want more schools to be aware of the food challenges ahead, and this is a quick solution. And going forward, what if some teachers taught kids how to grow microgreens, and then you could change neighborhoods overnight. So then we wouldn't have this food shortage and food desert. You'd actually be able to go down to your neighbor's house and be like, "Hey, you guys got some broccoli in the back?" "Sure do. Here you go." So I would love to see if maybe one day the government would subsidize like farmers and start so we could actually feed these people, because I can't stand seeing all this food from markets just going to waste. It it's not even bad, but they're forced to throw it out because of their own policies. And um, going forward, I have to make better policies. That's for sure, because I ran into a lot of things I wasn't ready for. And when the big kids are around, they know those policies off the back of their hand. And I remember going to a meeting and they were saying stuff, and I was just like, I don't know if that's a seasoning or a tax code or what was that word. And thank God I had my phone on record so I could review the whole thing again. And I looked it up. And they were talking about some tax code that was just for them. I was like, okay, all right. Oh God, I don't even know what that is. And they were going on about it for another 20 minutes. So I was like learning as they're talking. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm sure I have those
Yeah.
paperwork somewhere. It's
Yeah.
got to be right. Everybody has that. I'm like, and I call my dad is the one who does like all the major paperwork. He makes sure all that stuff lines up for me, and it's great having him, because there's a lot of times where I'm like, Dad, well, I'm gonna do this. We're doing that. And this is growing and that's growing. And he's like, you have $400 to spend on stuff right now. $400. He's like, yeah, look what you bought already. You already tried to do this last week. I was like, oh yeah. I gotta slow it down. So you gotta slow it down. All right. It brings me back down, but that's what keeps me going. Exponential growth is that want for more. It's not, and I'm not doing this to get rich. I'm just trying to do this to make a sustainable living for my family.
Yep.
So that's what I'm in this for. And again, I wish I could have given this to my grandparents back in the day. I wish I was more in tune with it back then, because I think I could have made a difference, or I'd like to think so. You know. We're learning so much about these amazing vegetables now that we arbitrarily eat from time to time that are just the best thing for you. It's like I need to eat so much more of these things, and I grow them, and I'm like, today's the day. I'm gonna go eat 4 ounces of broccoli. Somehow this week it's gonna happen. It doesn't happen. Well, but I did have a sandwich. I might look at my wife. She's like, it was all in there. I'm like, oh, it was. That was a broccoli sandwich.
Yeah. Eat them a lot.
Yeah. Right. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of room for growth. I know I have a lot of things I need to get better on, which I don't think a lot of people talk about in this business, is how much stuff we all have to grow. Like it's a growing business. You're either learning about some of your seeds, or learning how to deal with mold, or dampening off, or putting trays over, or learning different techniques. Shiso. Do you guys grow shiso?
No.
Not yet. It's on my list, but the seed is
Okay.
ridiculously expensive.
Oh my God, is it ever? And I was like, this is it. I'm gonna try seashell. Okay, this, because every sushi place I ask wants it. I'm like, oh, and they can't find it anywhere. Well, I found out why, because it's so hard to grow. I maybe got 2 trays out of a possible 20 I was trying, and I've been doing this for 5 years now. And I was like, okay, we're just gonna be giving them purple cabbage. I can't, and amaranth. I can't. I'm sorry, I haven't figured it out yet. And I don't have the capital to try and figure it out.
Just keep doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're like, you should try. And I joke with my restaurants. It's like, hey, you guys put up the funding for me to try whatever you want me to grow. I'll be in there every day. I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Story changes then for sure.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
All right.
Well,
Well,
apparently you need to reach out to Joe to ask him about how he does it.
very easy. Yeah. Apparently.
Yeah.
Andy, you got any last questions for Matt or anything?
No, I mean, I just, again, I want to reiterate, I think your approach is awesome. And I think this will hopefully
Oh,
to inspire some folks that are, afraid to go talk to chefs
I'll do it.
because but once you get into the chef world, then you're getting into the amaranths,
Mhm,
the cilantros, the
mhm.
beets, the celeries, the red vein sorrels, the things that are longer term grow. They're harder to grow. They're easier to kill. We always joke that amaranth and beets pretty much hate to be alive.
Yes, they
Your job
do,
isn't
man.
to,
So
yeah,
true. Oh my God,
yeah.
yeah.
Unless you throw them in the
So,
So
yard in the crack of the
yeah.
yeah.
sidewalk, they'll
Oh
grow
yeah,
perfect.
then they grow
Oh,
totally
perfect.
fine. Yep. You give them the worst case scenario and they grow great. But if you give them ideal scenario and ideal humidity and everything else, they're like, nope, I'm
Mhm.
done. So,
No,
but this gives people the option to get big with homeowner level crops. You know, the broccolis, the sunflowers, the radishes, the peas, all the things that are easy to grow, but not easy to sell to chefs as easy anyway, as opposed to the other ones. You know, so that's what I really love about this approach. And it's just getting people thinking outside of the box. I think that's a huge plus.
Yeah.
You know, so I really do appreciate your
Yeah.
So I definitely appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate the fact you were willing to come on here and talk about it. It's pretty cool. I love it. I definitely learned a lot. I knew I would. I told you that a month ago when we planned this.
Oh, you guys are so nice. I really appreciate it. I've probably been thinking about this every day since, because I was like, man, I know I have something to offer, and I hope I can convey it well enough so they will just try. Because you just got to try it. Just stick your neck out there, you know, for what you believe in. If you're passionate about this, be okay with failing. Fail quick. Just get back up and try it again. Not every chef's gonna want what you have to offer. Even if it's your best day, people may not watch what you have. You know, and you got to do your best work when you're least motivated.
For sure.
You got to do it, because there's going to be days where you're just, why did I start growing microgreens? Because there's days, I'll be honest, where I'm just like, I wish I had a boss who was like, Matt, we have these 8 things for you to do today. I'm like, yes, 8 things. When's the last time you guys had just 8 things to do? Never.
I had 8 things to do.
I know.
March of 2020.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So
it's crazy.
That's awesome. Yes, definitely. I learned something here today for sure. A unique approach of going after microgreens and going a different route, doing vending machines is something that never crossed my mind before we had this conversation. I would never think about that. We tried to get into schools to go to the cafeteria and you go that route. We never thought about going straight to the students, just going to the vending machine route and giving it straight to them. So that's something different approach that I would love to even explore down the road when we have time and space to do that. So definitely learned a lot. We're going to get into the Q&A session. So I know there's a lot of great questions in there. If you have any other questions or for Matt or myself, make sure you put them in there. And what did you learn today in this? Did you learn anything different? Put that in the chat as well. And would like to thank all of our Harvest members and all our members in general, but we always like to highlight our Harvest members and how long they've been members. We do appreciate you guys a lot. And we now will get in the Q&A session for the live people that are here. If you're live, we'll get into that. If you're not, we will see you in the next one.
I was happy I remembered to do all this.
Yes, Andy, you did great. I went back and watched
all
those
little end videos.
I don't have to do it. I just talk and she puts it all up there. So
yeah, I appreciated Jess even more that week.
And I was worried. I was like, oh, I wonder if he's going to know where to go for those in the brand kit.
Yeah. That's why I asked you like 5,000 questions on Messenger before I went live. I was like, where's this? Where's that? How do I do this? But no, I appreciate you. You did a great job giving me all the information I needed, and that's what made it as smooth as it was.
Awesome.
And thanks again to Joe, who I know is potentially still on here, for coming on and helping me out. That was awesome.
Yeah. And quick shout out to Matthew Van Dusen. He didn't make that list on the thank you of the Harvest members. He is one of our newest Harvest members. So I wanted to make sure I shout out to him. He wasn't on the list quite yet. I didn't have that made in there yet. And he will be on next week. So
solid name.
Nice.
Solid name.
Yeah.
Like a good sound to it, Matthew.
Matthew Van Dusen. As compared to Nino.
Yep.
Van Dusen Greens just doesn't have the same ring to
it. Van Dusen Greens? That could be interesting. All right. So let's go through some awesome questions. We have a ton of really great questions tonight, guys. All right.
Like that.
So the first one. Oh, Mentally Dope says, Cali Love, originally from the 209.
Yeah. Heck yeah. San Diego.
Mark Barton wanted to know, are you using any special software to manage your automation?
Raspberry Pi.
Raspberry Pi.
It is the easiest thing to program. You guys can do it. They're teaching kids on like 8th grade, 7th grade level to do it. They've made it so easy now the coding is, and I'm sure Andy can speak to it, is not as what you thought it was. It's literally copy and paste for most of it.
Nice.
Yeah, there's so many great examples of existing code out there that you can use, and it's basically like a mini computer. Basically, is all it is. It's running a really light version of Linux or Unix, but you can plug all kinds of different things into it, and it's amazing. Yeah, you can do all kinds of automations. That and like Arduinos, things like that, very similar. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, it's a great way to get something set up without having to learn a whole lot of coding. Just do searches. There's tons of options out there that are already written. All you have to do is just basically copy and paste, like Matt said. It's a pretty cool setup.
Mm-hmm.
And Mentally Dope says, that is a route that interests me a lot. The school and health benefits for students. Scholarships are a cool thing, even internships with students. Very cool, Matt.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that, man. I'm always.
And Matt, I wanted to ask too, do you know how much money you've given out for scholarships? Just out of curiosity.
You know what? I have that number. It's.
I was just curious. It's not the end of
No,
the world.
no. I do. Hold on. That's a good question. See, I told you I needed to have
That is
that.
not something he put in his notes.
Yes, he did. I do
Yeah,
have
you got
it.
a page and a half of notes, man.
I know. It says here $987.
Nice.
So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's
Almost
awesome.
to that grand.
That's definitely gonna help somebody out.
That's nice.
Yeah, I mean that'll pay for at least one class in most colleges, if not two classes.
And that's
So
over.
that's a huge help.
4 different schools. School zones. So there's Oceanside, Solana Beach, Encinitas, and Del Mar. So that's over all of them. I don't know what it is for each school. I have tax lady. She's like, this goes to them. I'm like,
Yeah,
Because I will sit there and do numbers, but then I'm just like, why am I not outside seating right now? I could just totally. Where's my dad? And again, he does my numbers.
Yeah.
He's like, I did it. Yeah, he's great. He's great.
That's
awesome,
man. John Claus wants to know which products and sizes work best for the office/food court model.
Oh man, I have just a regular. I think mine's from like 2001 vending machine. Doesn't have to be pretty. You can literally buy one that's having scratches on it. Take some paint, scratch it down, paint it, leave it out, put it in there, make sure everything works.
Yeah.
Try every number
because
I've gotten there and I'm like A7, and it's just going. It's not moving, so that's annoying. Then you have to leave it there. It says A7 doesn't work, and that's always the greatest image you want. Here's a vending machine and this doesn't work.
Yeah.
Put your money in and take your chances.
So
I think you might have been asking about what size product for microgreens.
So 4-ounce containers, just 4-ounce containers. They're little squares. They're about that big. Like that. I think they're.
Is that 4 ounces of product or 4 ounce volume?
4 ounces of product.
Okay.
That I can fit.
Oh
in.
wow,
that's a lot.
I would have thought it'd been 2 ounces. That's cool.
No, see, that's where I beat everybody. Sprouts is doing 2 ounces, and I offer 4. So that's another thing. I had to up my volume to get more people to recognize me, because people get mad. They're like, "Oh, that was so good, and I want more." I was like, "Well, if you buy mine, you can have more. More.
You magically get more."
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, great," because I don't want to go back to Sprouts, and I deliver. So that's a great thing too. People don't want to leave their house anymore.
Yeah, they got too used to
that. Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
But if John Claus Van Dan, I love it. If you want to, you can find me on Facebook. DM me, and I'll find you the model and the specs for all that. I just don't have it in front of me right now.
Awesome.
I just been using the same thing for 3 years. I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, I'll message you too, Matt, because I'm very interested exactly what you're using. Just because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to copy you.
There you go. Love it. I'll tell you it all. I got nothing to hide. It's all there. Simple, easy.
And Farmer Cheryl wants to know if Matt got any mentoring from Andy or Mike.
Nope.
Kind of. I mean, you and I talked, but not really I don't think we didn't do an official coaching call or anything, but I know we
Mm-mm.
definitely talked at one point, but nothing
Yeah.
like too crazy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I mentored you necessarily, but yeah, I mean that's why Matt's got his own unique approach, because if he talked to me or Mike, we would have been like, yeah, restaurants and grocery stores.
Well,
You
and they
know,
work.
so,
Restaurants,
yeah.
grocery stores work. That was one of my biggest struggles is getting into grocery stores, man. I just, for whatever reason, and then I had learned about coding. I couldn't get it all together. So I had to do something else.
I agree with your comment here, Joe. Getting into hospitals with vending machines would be
Oh,
yeah.
amazing.
see,
Amazing.
Joe, nice. See, there's the hospital near here. That's it. Someone here, come in here and break my toe. We're going to the hospital.
Do you talk to a specific vending machine company whenever you're looking for vending machines, or he might be reaching out to you too?
I got mine off of Facebook, to be honest. The guy said it worked. I drove down, I think it was El Centro, and put it in the back of the truck, drove it to the school, and plugged it in, and again, pressed every button, and it worked. Literally put a tarp over it. And I was hoping the kids wouldn't mess with it, and they didn't. And put it in there. But no, that's not any specific vending machine company. There's plenty of companies out there that you can go to, and they will offer you options to lease it or at a nice rate. But again, capital was everything for me, and still is. And I've learned the more I have, the better options I will have. So I just try and hold on to every penny.
I gotta say, Matt, talking vending machines brings back some bad memories for me. I spent about $15,000 to get vending machines and get routes and do everything through a company, and then that company disappeared before I got anything from them. So that was like 15 years ago now. But
Ouch.
yeah. So when you bring up vending machines, I'm like, oh, I don't know.
I don't know. Why do I have this weird feeling about that?
Yeah, they had apparently
I start twitching.
they had an office in Colorado, but it was just an empty building.
Oh,
It was an actual place, but it was
Oh,
empty.
no.
Nobody was there. Tracked them down to Florida, but they were already gone. Yeah, so it was a whole.
oh, buddy.
Yeah.
Jeez, what a headache that is.
So buying vending machines off Facebook sounds much more authoritative to me than going to a company and buying them from.
Mm-hmm.
At least I know I can get them.
Mm-hmm. And the guy had sold numerous before, so that it wasn't like I found some guy that was like, "Hey, this one fell off the truck. Do you want it?" No, it was,
Yeah.
Gotta meet me in the back alley to get this.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, vending machines are it, man. They're simple, easy. You don't need another employee. And God, California laws for employees are expensive,
We're right there with you, man.
dude.
Yeah,
Illinois
trust me.
sucks too.
One of my mentors was like, "How do you spell employees?" I'm all EMPs, liability. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
well, that's why you got to start thinking about it. I'm like, oh, okay, geez, take the niceness out of working with someone like that.
Yep.
But,
They make it very hard as a small company to hire people.
mm-hmm,
All the things they
Yeah.
have.
mm-hmm.
You want to hire people, you want to give them a good job, but they make it very difficult to do that.
Yes, it is very difficult, and I don't want to offer somebody that I don't think could live off of it. Here, come work for me and struggle. Like that's not. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I wouldn't show up to that job, so I'm not gonna
Yeah.
ask somebody else to do that.
Exactly.
John Claus makes a great point. Anywhere people are eating is a potential opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
How many vending machines do you have, and where are they placed?
Schools. So Solana Beach, Del Mar, Sanitas, Oceanside. I'm trying to get into LA because LA will pay a lot more for microgreens. So I hope next time I'm on here, I'm like, they're in LA finally.
So I think you're all schools, right? All your vending machines are schools.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what he was probably asking there.
Yeah. Only reason why is because they're except for the summer months, they're there all year, and even then you have the teachers coming out.
You still have summer school that goes on too and stuff and things. So there's still people at the school, just not as many.
Yes.
Yeah, true.
Takeaways: think outside the box. Don't be afraid to explore new and creative markets. Hungry people everywhere.
Exactly,
Yeah.
man. Exactly.
That was the whole point of this podcast, was to get you guys thinking outside the box.
Yeah. And I've been using LinkedIn a lot more. LinkedIn, I think, is a big tool that a lot of small businesses aren't using, because you can really provide a professional image on LinkedIn, where Instagram is more. It shows the picture of what you're trying to make, but the description is much. It's a lot easier for businesses to recognize you that way. You're official when you're on LinkedIn. Like people can check you out, make sure you got all this, everything in the line.
We stream this show on LinkedIn. We're on there right now.
Oh, what's up, my peeps?
Genetic Memory Farms makes a really great point. Love the vending machines, especially paired with the dressing or dip. Is there like a regulation where you couldn't like put a packet of dressing attached to it, like tape a packet to it?
So I did have the option to go to work with a company that would have put packets in there and stuff, but the liability is huge. Let's say one of those kids is allergic to, I don't know, sage, and it's in that dressing. I am responsible for the package. So anything in that package is my responsibility. And I would just feel so terrible if I'm trying to help kids and then they get sick, and I'm like, I just couldn't do it. But they can, obviously bring their own stuff. But I've been trying to tell them, teach these kids how to make home foods. It's not hard to make ranch dressing.
Yeah.
Like have a ranch dressing class or something. Make it fun for them. I don't know.
Maybe put a how to make it on the back of one of the packages or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a good idea.
Just pairs well with French dressing, and here's how you make it.
I'm writing this down. I do need to do that. That's a great idea. Yeah. No, that's a really good idea. So you pick up packages. How come that you pick up a package that's just plain and you're like, whatever. But when there's some stupid like fact on the back, like a Snapple fact, you're like, whoa.
Yep. I was just gonna say that.
I know that. Oh, I didn't learn so much about flamingos today. You're like,
For sure.
Oh, man.
Mentally Dope loves how you don't want to go back to the old job. So all or nothing, bro. You're a beast when it comes time to do what beasts do.
Oh, thank you, man. See, that's the kind of stuff I love hearing. I appreciate that. I'll remember that when I'm having a bad Tuesday. I'd be like, you know what?
Yeah, just screenshot that real quick.
I will. Thank you for that. That was very kind.
Mentally Dope also says it's a brilliant thing, especially in California, where health is a door that is available with schools and elders. Great job.
Mm-hmm. And do you guys have retirement homes out there? I'm sure everywhere does. Try it, dude. Try it.
There's little people everywhere.
Yeah. Well, over here in like California, they're springing up everywhere. And I'm like, I'm always out driving. I'm like, where are these old people? I never see any of them until they're right in front of me going 30, 65.
You notice them then.
Yeah, I'm like, God, get your giant Buick out of the way.
John Claus is a great thought. Lots of medical offices and healthcare related buildings and a big hospital within a 2-mile radius of him. So
there you go, man.
Oh, dang, man. That's
We
awesome.
have a block away, the big health company here, whatever, that runs all the hospitals, their office buildings right there. So
perfect. See, you guys have options right there. That's
Yeah.
great. That's great.
I've got Johns Hopkins 45 minutes from my house, and literally all they have in their entire food court cafeteria area is all healthy stuff. There's no regular sodas. It's all diet or zero. They've got all healthy snacks.
Oh yeah.
Like in their actual cafeteria, that's all they sell is healthy stuff. The whole place, you can't buy anything unhealthy in the entire hospital. So
now I gotta go buy vending machines and more racks and trays and like.
Way to go, Matt.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I heard you guys last podcast talking about when I had time. You guys have time. What is time?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely don't right now. I can tell you
Mm.
that.
Mm.
Holy
I'll be
Lord.
harvesting for 30 hours the next 2 days, I think. So
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. I just got really a long, sharp blade that I've been using instead of these little tiny ones. Oh my God.
That's the key.
You
Whole
should see
tray at a time.
if you watch
Yeah.
Jess on any of the harvesting videos that we do the lives, she
Yeah.
has the knife that fits a whole tray. He
Mm-hmm.
goes through, cuts the whole tray at one
Mm-hmm.
swoop.
I
then
saw
takes-
that.
Yeah.
God, I'm upstairs. I'm a history nerd, and I'm like looking at one of my old samurai swords. I'm like, maybe if we sharpen that enough, how cool would that be? My wife's like,
Chris Thorpe.
well,
Chris Thoreau has a video on YouTube of
Oh,
him
video.
cutting, like an old, like 9 years ago video of slicing of sunflowers, doing a whole tray of sunflowers. He had like a whole little guillotine system going with a sword.
oh, sounds like. See, not
That's
all heroes
awesome.
wear capes.
Yeah.
Matthew Van Dusen, speaking of, I'm on step 1, but working on similar approach in Minnesota. Has me feeling more hopeful and happy to you have stayed the course and found success.
Well, thank you, buddy. You can do it too. I believe in all you guys out there. If I can do it, you can do it. There's nothing special about me. I just probably want it more than everybody else, in my area. And you can ask anybody about me. They know me. I fear somebody waking up tomorrow and having the same idea that I have, that wants it more than me. I can feel like I've been running a race. I can feel second place on my neck. So I'm always like leaning forward, trying to get a little bit farther ahead. Because
that's why you're where you're at.
yeah, but that's and that you got to listen to your passion and your heart and just go after it. You only got one shot in this thing, just get after it.
It's only one life.
Yep.
Mentally Dope
Yeah, we
says,
try and tell people the same thing. Sorry, Jess, go ahead.
"Oh no, you're good. Go right on ahead."
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's what Mike and I try and tell people the same thing. We're no different than anybody else. I mean,
Mhm.
we have local farmers that come and check out our operation, and they get out of the car and they see me in person for the first time, and they're like, and I'm like, I'm just a normal human being, man. I'm not doing anything.
right.
I just do this to help people.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to it. We're not famous. We're not
Yeah.
like, some crazy advanced version of a farmer. I mean, we're just it's passion and drive that separates us from most people, and just ideas, and that's why we try and pass that information on to other people to try and help inspire them too. So
Yeah.
all right, sorry, Jess.
You're good. I was just going to say Mentally Dope says good vision, creating futures. And my mom beat cancer 3 times. The reason I grew microgreens years ago for personal, super beneficial.
Awesome.
That's
Oh,
huge.
your mom is a champ, man.
3 times. That's
3
crazy.
times.
Yeah, that's
dude.
amazing.
Wow.
Oh, amazing.
That's amazing.
And now we're in the world of shiso. Joe says it's easy.
No, Joe. Okay,
Joe!
DM me, man. I need to learn.
So he's got
Joe, where's the video?
Where's
Yeah,
the
make a
video?
video on it.
Please, just and in the caption write for Matt because he doesn't know.
He said he just followed Jeremy Bobby Joe Waller's method, 6 to 8 grams, sown just like sorrel in humidity dome under light. That might be the
Good to
trick,
know.
guys.
All right.
Or just planted in your
Also-
backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Throw it right on the concrete. It'll be fine.
Yeah, be fine. Be fine.
Yeah, I just tried and it wouldn't work. So that's it. I'm gonna follow.
I mean, it's so expensive. A seed, you can only
Oh,
get the
yeah.
seed right.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, what am I going to put my money towards, and how much am I getting? What's my return on this? And then I weigh it out. And I'm like, this is a hobby. This isn't what I can make money from. But if they bought it in quantity, then it would be different.
Yep.
I remember when I got my bag of 1 pound of sorrel seed, and I was scared to death to drop that bag. I mean, because it's in one of those little bags like this, So I was filling up little seed, like little cups or whatever, and I was like, my God, if I tip this bag over, that's like $300 or $400 of the seed that I just wasted. I was so afraid.
Yeah.
I was like, I will always have one hand firmly gripped on this bag, no matter what. It was terrifying. Oh man, yeah, I hate seeds like that. Just insane how much they cost.
John Claus wants to say, awesome guest, great info and ideas. Thanks, Matt Nino.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's very humbling to be on here. This is my first podcast I've talked about my own way of doing it. So I'm very appreciative you guys let me on here. You've been doing this for a while. Had great success. So keep it up, gentlemen.
Love having you.
John's an awesome guy.
Matthew wanted to put a quote in. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, you do.
I'm a very system guy as well. Being from the restaurant world, you got to have systems in place and training in place and all that stuff and everything else. So, that's something we build out. We think about when we're changing stuff. And like we went to this new volume of 600 trays, planting a week on shelves. It's like, okay, how's this? If I was training somebody, how would I do this? Is this great to be in a system? And that's not me just doing it. So, I think about that every time.
I'm going to throw this out there. If you guys look, this book right here, I'm telling you, it's worth your time. There's an audiobook. It's really good. It's got a lot of sharp moves in there. It's really helped me. So
nice.
I would
your
say
next
so.
5 moves.
What was that book, Matt?
It's your next 5.
Can you tell me what it was?
Yeah, I'll hold it up here. It's your next 5 moves. Master the art of business strategy. I try to read a business book once a month. It doesn't happen like that, but audiobooks work for me. Yeah, see? And I just, every time I read them, I'm like, do I read, I kind of get that moment where I'm like, do I need to read this book? And then I'm like halfway through it, I'm involved in it. I feel like my brain has got all these different ideas going and approaches that I just didn't know I could do. And
I forget the exact number, but if you read one book a year, I think you're like the top 1% of people.
Really?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Wow.
Nobody reads a book or listens to a book even.
I need to buy some children's books so I can get to that.
Dude, I'm about
A sheep says, bah.
Yeah.
It's only 5 pages long. I will admit I'm horrible when it comes to reading.
Just put a link for that book as well, so you guys can just get that if you like.
Awesome.
Thanks for sharing that, Matt.
Yeah. Oh, it's things I can do to help more people get out there and just. You can do it. You can do it. I know you can.
Mentally dope. I'm assuming this refers to your ability to do scholarships. Great impact, and I see that growing with your energy. Hit up Shark Tank with your vending machine idea. That's a great idea.
Oh, dude. You know what? You're probably like the 10th or 12th, 11th, 12th person I've brought that up to. And they're like, you should go on Shark Tank. I'm like, oh, man, you don't need to see some guy just stutter while he's trying to sell something on national television. My wife, she could stand up there and she's like, you Andy, she just fills the room and you can just talk to her. And I'm always been I'm kind of introverted, my wife's like, friends. I'm like, prove it. Yeah. So and that's and that's then those two types of people marry each other.
It was my wife, when she was on last week, I mean, her nickname for me has always been the mayor of wherever I am.
Yeah, I heard that.
I get to know everybody in the room.
That's great, man. The world is filled with people who aren't kind anymore. We need more kindness now more than ever, I think,
Yeah, 100%. Social media has really ruined a lot of formerly kind people, unfortunately.
There's a lady that lives across the street from my dad, and she's just always sitting out on her front porch, and I see her there. And she's always so kind, always says something nice to me. And I just, I had microgreens, and you get like 3/4 of a container. I'm like, what am I going to do with this? I drop it off to her. I've been doing it for like 2 years. Never thought one day. She's just a grandma, as far as she's somebody's grandma. I don't have those anymore. So I was like, well, she can be my grandma when I tell her over and take it to her. Didn't think any of it. I got a Christmas letter. Didn't have a date on it or anything. And I there's money inside. I'm like, who is this from? And why would they? I'm so confused. And then she yelled from her porch, did you get it? I'm like, what? And she's on the money. I'm like, yes, thank you. So that was from you. She's like, yep. Just thought you should have it. I'm like, okay.
Nice.
Thank
Grandma's.
you. Yes. And my friends are so funny. What did she get? What she write you a $3 check? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Gave you a $3 savings bond.
Yeah.
certificate.
Oh yeah. That's a classic grandmother move. Oh man.
I just want to do. I did do a poll tonight to see if people knew who you were, Matt, and 28 votes, and it was all no. So
Yeah.
everybody got to meet you today. So welcome to
Yeah.
the world.
No way.
Yeah. I don't.
Wow.
I don't even think I don't post nothing. I'm horrible at it. I'm just into
You
my
haven't
work.
posted on Facebook since July, I think.
Yeah.
I'm just.
see?
I tried to do all my research and get all your links, and I was like, "Where is he?"
Yeah, I know. I need to get better. My cousin Hayden, he's like on TikTok. He's a younger kid. He made this great video for me. And I'm like, oh, I need to make him in charge of this because he wants to be on his phone doing this for me. The kids live on that stuff, man. I'm just trying to get through my day. So
Yeah, unfortunately, kids don't usually lead to customers.
no,
Yeah.
no. My demographic is 36 to 52. That's my biggest people who buy. So I was like, really? I'm like, I wonder what the average age of a teacher is. And they're all younger. Like, well, how does this play
for the
out?
most
There's
part, they're
definitely a switch over, I think, very recent where, you had them older teachers going out and then younger teachers coming in. I don't think you had the ones in the middle because the older teachers weren't leaving, hanging on. So now I think you're getting a lot of the younger ones.
Yeah.
and I don't think the younger ones last as long as the old school teach, especially in today's
Yeah.
teaching world. My gosh, you could not pay me enough money to teach kids nowadays.
No, and that's what I tell the teachers
Oh,
all
it's
the time.
unbelievable.
You are the new saints because ain't
Yes.
nobody coming in here teaching kids. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's like,
No.
it ain't gonna be me. So
Yeah. Like, oh, I gave you an F on your test. Oh, did you? Well, guess what? You're the they start videotaping you, and then they throw it out on Facebook, and next thing you know, you're
Yeah.
fired. So
Yeah.
they have full control, and they know it, and they take advantage of it. And it's a shame.
Mhm,
I've seen it.
mhm.
I mean, coaching
All
in
right.
public school, and it's a mess. Total
Got some
mess.
more questions, Jess. I see some more coming in. So.
Kim says she has a theory. I don't think there's more bad people. They're just louder than we are.
Yeah, very true. There is a lot of good people out there.
Andy just posted
And,
up.
and the
that
sad thing
poem.
is we're being given reasons to disagree with each other all the time. And that's the real
Yeah.
problem. The social media loves to create that divisiveness. So try and stay above it.
Mhm,
Remember, they like to keep us fighting. Just
mhm,
Yeah. Yep.
mhm, mhm.
Joe says he likes the idea of pairing with naturopaths. It also makes me think of physical therapy offices and massage therapists.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Mhm. That's a great idea, man. Yeah.
And gyms, when it boils
Yeah.
down to it.
Yeah.
You get
Jim.
yourself into a CrossFit or a place like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all eating healthy already. It's a
Yeah.
no-brainer. That's actually something that we're working on right now. I was
We had a
working
gym
with a
reach out
couple
to
local
us.
gyms.
But we just can't do it right now.
Yoga studios. You guys have
Yeah.
those?
Yeah.
That's one of my biggest buyers. They're
Nice.
I'm way into it. And I started going towards more vegetarian cultures too. That helped a lot.
Yeah.
On like Thai, Chinese, sometimes sushi work. So you got to figure out where it's working, and that's where the bread and butter was for me.
Dan says, I just want one regular customer. I suck at all of it besides growing it.
Oh,
Growing it.
Hard part. It's
dude,
the only hard
Yeah.
part.
keep
Dan,
working
you
on it,
just started, man. Give
Yeah,
yourself
man.
some time.
Yeah, dude, you sound just like me. When I started, I had to ask my neighbors like 3 times if they just wanted to try it, and then they finally like, this is actually pretty good. Well, thank you.
We had a restaurant that took 2.5 years to get them.
Yeah.
know.
So and I find it's a big leap for people to change their palate and their culture of eating. I don't want to give up Oreos, let alone try some new salad.
No more Oreos. Out of here.
I know. I gotta do it. Goals. 2024 goals.
Joe wanted to throw another book up. We should start a book club. I just finished listening to Small Giants. Also, highly recommend
Yay.
Lean Farmer by Ben Hartman. That's a good one too.
Great book, man. Yes, it's a great book. Mhm.
New podcast thing. We're gonna have the book club.
We'll have separate episodes every week.
Yeah.
Book club.
Live reading.
Yeah.
Live listening.
In the
Oh,
I
beginning.
could read books all day. I'm good.
Yeah,
Jeff will be
I
the
can do that.
narrator in the background.
Jess does have a great voice for it.
Yeah, she could. She could do it.
Tyler, new face. How many trays are you growing a week?
Was that for all of us?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Good question.
Go ahead, Matt.
This week we did 246. So
Nice.
Nice.
it's not
That's
the
pretty
biggest.
good. That's a good day. Yeah, that's a good week.
Yeah,
Good week.
that's a very
But
good week.
I'm just, yeah. It's when you're doing it, it's not fun. But when you get the paycheck, it's even better. You know.
That's what I'm waiting on. And we
Mhm.
just planted 567 trays yesterday.
Wow.
We're planting 10 more today. Sunflowers we're doing today. So yeah, 577, and you could obviously if total of 600 on the racks because you got the ones that are multiple weeks and on there and stuff. So yeah, I won't get that check until probably April, end of April. So it's gonna be a nice check though. So waiting for that.
Yeah, be a very nice check.
That doesn't count the ones that are on top of the racks because we don't have room.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the 5 basils that are on top germinating. And don't stop.
It's awesome.
Hey, all phenomenal problems to have.
Mhm.
Phenomenal problems to have.
Mhm.
That's so
All right, we're
funny.
past our 30 minutes, but if you guys are ready
We
to
got some
got a
member
few more
questions,
Vin
so
member
we'll make sure we get to
questions.
them.
Yeah, we got time. Let's knock
Mentally
them out.
dope. Those sweaty palm moments is when the magic happens. Thanks for
That's
being
right,
on here,
man.
you guys.
Thank you. For
That
being
means
here.
you care. That
Yeah.
means
Yeah.
you care. Is
Yeah.
literally it. If you're nervous, that means you care.
Mhm.
Matthew Van Dusen says, super motivating. It gave me a ton of clarity on what I'm trying to do. Thanks for sharing what you're up to.
Oh, my pleasure, man. Fellow Matthew, you get free info anytime. Mhm. No,
Nice.
I really appreciate it, you guys. It's so nice to be on here.
For sure.
Yeah, no
John
worries. Happy to have you.
Claus. Recently heard you guys talking about marketing wheatgrass / pet grass to pet stores. Anyone else doing that?
Great idea.
We have
No.
we have a couple students that are doing it in our course that they're doing it.
Ooh.
And you go to some of these pet stores, I recommend going to ones that are like local-ish, not the big PetSmart, because apparently the guy that owns that is a farmer that does wheatgrass in his farm. So that's where they get all their stuff from. It's crap. It's not good.
Yeah.
And they're charging online. It's $9.99 for it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Second note of the day. Pet stores.
So pet stores definitely go after them.
It's something I've been wanting to do. Because I know a lot of people will just sell them in live 5x5s and make up the price of the 5x5. Yeah, you buy them all in bulk. You can save a ton of money on 5x5s.
Yep.
Yeah, the 5x5s come from the distributor from the soil too. So
wheatgrass is very profitable.
Oh, nice.
Very profitable.
Yeah.
You know what? That's probably the one thing I don't grow regularly. It's wheatgrass.
It's easy.
I know. That's what everyone tells me.
It's so easy.
Just I'm gonna try it. I need to find somebody who wants more of it. I'm sure they're out there.
We sell a ton to grocery stores. We sell probably 16 to 18 flats of 5x5. So 140, 160 5x5s every week. And it's all going to grocery stores.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to try that.
And we're not even in an area that has a lot of juicing people. People just love their pets a lot.
Yeah. Literally.
They love their pets more than they love themselves. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Wheatgrass for the kids and processed chicken tenders for the children.
100%. So sad.
Yep.
All right, guys. I think we are out of questions for the day. Side note, the giveaway is at 17 entries. So #thumbcast, guys.
We're going to spend in about 30 seconds.
26, 28 people watching, so get in there. Hashtag Thumbcast.
If you don't want free
Don't
stuff,
do it. You're literally missing out on the opportunity to win something for free.
you
Get
can
in
win a
there. Get in
one-on-one
there.
with that guy over there. That guy over there. I'm going the wrong way. Or me. Farm flows 3 months, 6 months. T-shirts. There's all kinds of stuff on there.
Seeds from Greener
Seeds,
Harvest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taiwan seeds.
Yeah.
Josh
Ooh,
puts
Yep.
seeds
Josh
on there
was
every
generous
time.
enough to do that.
So yeah, a lot of good
Does that
stuff.
count him as a sponsor?
Yeah, I see Josh
He's
killing it out
there.
there.
Josh is
Oh,
killing
he's
it.
awesome.
Yeah,
He
I
is
wish I had the
absolutely
following Josh
killing
has
it.
on social medias.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's killing it, dude. Good for
I'm just
him.
not controversial enough to go out and say some stuff that he says. So
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. I don't
it's not me.
I can't do it. I just don't. I don't want to be in front of the camera. I want to be behind the greens.
That's why I am on the camera. And
All right,
he's
has everybody
here.
got the name in right now? I am going to go as my pick to win. Jonah. Andy, do you have one?
I'm gonna pick John Claus. He's feeling lucky tonight.
John Claus is feeling lucky. You're going with that. All right.
Yep, gonna pick John Claus. Good luck, buddy.
Ooh, we had Lorena come in at the end. So
We're up
Yep,
to
Lorena just got one.
19 entries.
you never know about them ones that come at the end. Sometimes they win.
Yeah.
I know it happens
Oh.
every once in a while.
Dude, Lorena, dude, that's the
Mark's
queen.
already getting his number and he's feeling really lucky.
Lorena is one of our students in our course.
Yeah.
So,
Lorena's very cool. She's very active in the school group, especially.
Yep.
Oh,
See her in there
cool.
all the time.
There you go.
All right, let's get our hashtag Thumbcast up to 20 now.
to 20. Got Matthew and Lorena came in.
Yeah.
Nice.
Quick question from Matthew. Been approached by a customer outside of the state considering doing referral. Any pointers on how to do research and suggest another grower?
Well, research the area, who's growing there, and then I would probably give them a call and see how you feel about them and do your research on them. Look them up on social medias and stuff. You definitely don't want to recommend somebody who's not good. Is not a good person. So I would definitely give a call to them if you don't know who they are.
Yeah, ethics matter.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can
I'm
just
really
post in
sneaking in.
Facebook groups to find out who those people are too. So if you don't know of any that are in that area or having trouble finding them, just post it to some of the Facebook groups, and chances are you may find somebody that's in that area. I know I've definitely passed business on to people, and it's worked out really well in the past. To other states. I have one customer that literally is ours, and then he moves down. He and his wife moved down to Florida for 3 months, and I referred them down to a person down there. And so her and I talk back and forth all the time now, which is really neat.
So you both have the same
cool
customer.
Yeah, I mean, she takes care of him when he's down there, and I take care of him when he's up here. So it's a really cool
Oh, that's
situation.
great.
And we're able to meet through the Microgreen community. We never would have met otherwise. So it's really neat.
Cool.
New York. Andy's close to New York.
Andy's close.
Close.
Yeah, that's a pretty far drive though.
Ooh. Oh,
Unless
yeah,
you
yeah.
know you got bridges
Right
to
down
go
the street. from me.
And of course, that could be where in New York.
Yeah,
because
exactly. New York's a
you could
big
be
state.
9 hours, or you could be 2.5 hours. Go to New York. Yeah, I mean, most of my family lives in New York,
Nice.
but way upstate. I mean, like the top of the state of New York is where most of them are from.
It's the better part of the state.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, not the
For
city.
Mike travels through New York
Not the
anyway.
city. Yeah.
All right. I think it's stable. So
We're at 20, so I think we're good.
let's go ahead and draw. Good luck, everybody.
Let's rock and roll.
Here we go.
And remember, go ahead and get your number in if you want. 1 through 20. 1 through 20 if you win.
Yep.
you
Mark
don't
already
put a
his
number in-
I saw it.
Oh,
Christina.
Christina,
Nice.
hopefully you're still here. We're going to give you 30 seconds or so to put a number in. If you do not put a number in, we're going to redraw. So you have 30 seconds to put a number in.
Type that number into the chat. Let us know how many times you want Jess to click. New York City.
New York
In
City.
the city.
This reminds me of that old commercial. The beans.
Pace.
Pace commercial.
Pace
yeah.
Picante sauce.
yeah.
Good marketing there, right? You still remember it.
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh, there she is. 4. She's being nice to you,
Number
Jess.
is
Only
All
4.
right.
4. See, she
Still
loves
there.
me.
Good.
All
Good luck,
right.
Christina.
Good
She
luck.
deserves to win
Christina.
something good then.
What do you want to win, Christina? What do you want to win? Maybe it'll land on it. Put it out there.
Oh,
You never know.
what that farm flow?
Farm Flow's on there, yeah.
3 months of farm flow and 6 months of farm flow.
Right there,
Get
just
a
went
one-on-one
past.
with Mike, a one-on-one with me.
Oh,
Greener
that's
Harvest Seeds.
Awesome t-shirt.
Some t-shirt.
Yeah. Everything on there is good.
All right. Are we ready, guys?
We're ready.
Yep. Good luck,
Real
Christina.
quick, really quick for her.
Yeah. Ninja fast. Except the wheels
Oh,
would
I'm seeing Farm Flow. Awesome t-shirt.
Oh,
Seeds are coming up.
Slow down.
She needs seeds.
Gross.
She needs seeds. She needs
Greener
seeds.
harvest
Yeah.
seeds. Oh yeah.
seeds. It's a good
All
one.
Well, she
right.
wanted seeds, so that's good.
Oh, perfect.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. See? Farm Flow seeds, anything. If it's, you put it out there.
Yep.
That's all you got to do. Christina, I have your information. I will get you over Josh's information and let him know, and I will let him know also you were the winner today, so you don't have to worry about emailing us or anything like that because we already got your information from the school group. So I will just message Scott. I will message Josh from Greater Harvest and let him know that you were the winner and get you guys hooked up so you can pick what seed you want. So awesome.
Yeah, that's a great prize. Congratulations.
For sure. All
You can
right,
turn
guys.
that prize into money.
Yeah, that was money. That's real money right there.
Uh-huh.
Turn it right back in. It's a lot of money. Get some shisho or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then tell me how it
Like
goes.
1 ounce.
That's all you need.
They can show.
Yeah.
They can teach Matt how to grow it.
Please DM me. Let me know.
Yes. All right. Thank you guys all for being here, and thanks for participating in the chat. Thank you guys for being here and hanging out with us. And again, thanks Matt for being here. Really liked having you. We all, I think, learned something today. So very, very beneficial podcast. And Andy, got anything?
Yeah, I totally agree, Matt. I appreciate it, man. I'm glad I got to know you back in the day. I mean, you know what I found when I found you first, it was really from the really cool videos and stuff that you were doing back then. You know, when you had more time, and I was like, man, this guy's really impressive. So that's why I kind of met up with you and we talked a couple times, and you're a good dude. So I appreciate it. Everything good that happens to you is deserved. So and I love seeing what you're doing, man, and how quickly you're doing it and how innovative the whole process is. So I'm glad that you were able to share that. And hopefully people that are outside of your competitive area decide to go down that same road.
even if you are in this area, there's plenty enough for all of us. Plenty enough.
Yeah. Yep. I tell people the same thing all the time. I've met so many local growers and I'm giving them advice. I'm not telling them to stop. I want them to get big too. I want them to fill the voids that I'm not filling. The more people that are selling microgreens, the better it's going to be for all of us, for sure.
Yes, exactly.
And hey, Matt, do you mind us sharing any of your socials? We'll put them in the chat. We'll put them in the comments of this video that goes live if you're okay with that.
No, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
So we'll put all his socials in after this video goes live. As it goes on YouTube, we'll put all this Matt's social in there so you guys can connect and see what he's doing. Again, Matt, we really appreciate you having here. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you guys for being on the show. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Yep. Have a great